A bench was installed in Prineville in honor of the lives of Jake and Josh Eckstein. Jillian Fortner shares how their legacy is still making an impact.
This bench in Prineville is not only a quiet place to sit, it's a powerful symbol of love and remembrance for two brothers gone too soon.
I can see Scott and I driving out here, maybe bringing, a picnic or something and just hanging out and kind of experiencing, our boys out here.
The brothers died in a crash while on their way to their trade jobs.
It's very bittersweet that we even have a memorial bench.
Behind the bench is the Facebook data center where Jake and Josh worked together on a pipe crew for Taylor Northwest. It overlooks the Ochiko Mountains, a place where their family shared some of their favorite memories.
And that's where we spent many weekends camping with our boys and fishing and swimming in the lakes and hunting and just, riding motorcycles and just, living life.
Community members gathered to show support, including recipients of the Jake and Josh Eckstein Memorial Trade Scholarship.
I know they're great people and full of love, and I never met their kids, but I wish I could have.
The scholarship fund was created to honor Jake and Josh's legacy by helping young people pursue careers in the trades. For the Ecksteins, it's the most meaningful way to carry their son's memory forward. Jillian Fortner, KTVZ News.
Coming up on KTVZ News at 6, days of back-breaking work, bringing good news. But new images paint a scary scene of what could have been. The latest on the Alder Springs wildfire.
And up next, a Central Oregon organization taking care of our veterans. How they care for the heroes who take care of us. You're watching KTVZ News at 6.
Pay It Forward is brought to you by Mid-Oregon Credit Union and Dutch Bros Coffee of Central Oregon.
New at 6, it's time for Pay It Forward. KTVZ News and Mid-Oregon Credit Union are on the lookout for people giving back to the community.
And this time we found a group supporting local veterans and donated $500. The group calls itself Veterans Appreciation Events. Through grants and fundraising efforts, it finds money and gives it back to vets. It puts on meetups, M-E-A-T, where veterans hang out and get to take home cuts of meat that have been donated to the group. The group also gives veterans money to cover expenses like clothing, groceries, or cell phone bills. And so when we gave the group $500, we knew it was going back to veterans.
They're so appreciative. A lot of them, really do need the help, and others, they just get in a tight spot. They're always very, very thankful.
The group's gearing up for one of the biggest events of the year, a Veterans Appreciation Day. It's putting together a day of raffles, live music, and a junior ROTC demonstration. The event's at the Redmond VFW at noon on August 23rd.
Well, in about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, it will be summer as the summer solstice is expected to occur at 7:41. And that is when the direct rays of the sun, right over top of the Tropic of Cancer, summer begins. Certainly doesn't feel like it. I'll tell you why.
Take a look at these images from the trenches of the Alder Springs fire. After days of back-breaking work, firefighters now have that blaze 40% contained. And there's more good news to report. All evacuation orders dropped to level 1. Be ready. Here's the latest map now of the evacuation orders. If you live in the green area, you're still under a pre-evacuation precaution. That's be ready. However, many crews are heading home now because of the increased containment. You can see from these images, firefighters used a drone equipped with infrared sensors. They used the technology to identify areas of heat around and inside the fire lines.
Night operations patrol the east side of the fire, looking for hot spots and any other issues, while continuing to keep an eye on the south and west side of the fire, looking for opportunities to increase containment.
For days, hundreds of firefighters have been digging with hand tools and dozers to create control lines around the blaze. Their hard work saved 2,000 homes from being burned and another 1,500 structures that were also in danger of being destroyed. However, there were some close calls. Take a close look at this image. You can see the charred black ground from the blaze, literally just feet away from someone's home. And take a look at these photos of another home. This home was so close to the blaze, it got covered in fire retardant dropped from the air. You can see the entire house and the front porch almost completely pink. It won't stay that way permanently. That retardant easily washes off with water. At this hour, there have been no reports of homes nor structures damaged.
Now, your exclusive local alert weather forecast from Central Oregon's news leader.
And the cool conditions today and the light rain, those are all real good for battling wildfires and the hot spots inside the perimeter. It was a little bit gusty at times. That's not good news. But here's a look now at the footprint of the Alder Springs fire. And you can see where the containment lines are. Here you go. They're up in and around the northwest side and then down in the southeast and southern perimeter. And again, inside there are some hot spots that will be tended to, of course, but partly to mostly cloudy skies tonight. It's going to be kind of cool, good humidity, so that is a good sign. We'll probably see more rain in the area too, so be advised it's going to be a good night for the attacking of that hot spots inside the perimeter. Beautiful view from the old Mill District, looking nice. So what are we tracking as we go forward in time? Got a rainy pattern that began today. Didn't get a lot of rain in Central Oregon, but we did get a lot up on the mountains and transitioned into a bit of a wintry mix. Got a cold spell, really, is the best way to put it. We're in the 50s today. We'll be in the 50s tomorrow. Rain's going to taper off late Saturday, but hopefully we'll get about a quarter inch of rain that'll help kind of water the lawn. We certainly do need that moisture. 52 degrees in Redmond and 54 in Bend. Winds in Redmond are at 18 miles an hour. Currently, we do have the winds at 16 in Sun River, single digits in Sun River, or excuse me, in Sisters and Bend, 18 in the Prineville, 16 though in Sun River. These are miles per hour. And the satellite and radar indicates to us that we have this arcing of the moisture really getting squeezed out there over top of the Cascades. Not much of it is making it over into the 97 corridor, although we do see some rain shafts in some of the mountains or some of the showers and clouds that we're looking off in the distance. But for the most part, it's just kind of a light rain today. Got rainy pattern tonight off and on. This area of low pressure is responsible for bringing down the cold air, and tomorrow a little bit more widespread rain in the region, and then we're going to warm back up on Sunday. We'll get back up into the 70s and upper 70s on Monday, and we'll hit those 80s as we get into Tuesday as much warmer air is actually going to be coming up here, and we'll stay in those 80s for a couple days next week. Rainfall amounts, not all that much tonight, so tomorrow at 9 a.m., it'll be about 1/10 of an inch in Prineville, but look at all the rain over in the valley, about 2 inches of rain. But here we'll get maybe about, I don't know, almost 1/2 inch in Lapine, 1/3 in Sun River, 1/4 inch in Bend, and in Redmond. That is good news for us because we really do need a good old-fashioned soaking to get that soil moistened up again. 46 degrees right now in Lapine, 60 in Warm Springs. Here's the low temperature for tonight. Got a 32 in Lapine, 36 in Prineville, 41 in Warm Springs. And for tomorrow, this looks like what we've been seeing for morning lows, morning lows. These are going to be the afternoon highs tomorrow with a 58 in Bend and a 58 in Redmond and a 56 in the Prineville area. 79 degrees is what we're going to hit on Monday, mid-80s on Tuesday for the hottest day. Then we'll get into the 80s and stay there all the way through until Friday. That's your local alert weather.
Thank you, John Carroll. Our team of meteorologists is with you. With the KTVZ Local Alert Weather app, you get access to live radar and weather alerts for free. Download in both the Apple and Google Play stores. Just search KTVZ.
Up next, after 16 years at the Tower Theater, Ray Solley is stepping down. Before he retires, he reflects on the magic, the mission, and the moments he won't forget.
Primetime lineup tonight is brought to you by Powder House, your patio furniture specialists.
The Bear Creek and 27th Street project in Bend is in full swing. Utility work is underway through August. The intersection at Bear Creek, Pettigrew, and Purcell is closed and detours are marked. Crews are upgrading water and sewer lines as well as building a shared use path. The work will be paused for the 4th of July.
New tonight at 6, the Tower Theater in Bend has long stood as a cultural centerpiece. For the past 16 years, one man has been behind the curtain shaping its story.
KTVZ's Claire Elmer sat down with retiring executive director Ray Solley to reflect on his time at the iconic Tower Theater.
After serving as executive director since 2009, Ray Solley now prepares to take his final bow. We look back on the amazing career he didn't expect to have.
I had no idea that when I took this job 16 years ago that I would retire in this job. That was not in the cards.
When asked what the tower has meant to him, Solley's answer? Responsibility.
I had a responsibility to my staff, and that I had a responsibility to our sponsors and our patrons, and I had a responsibility to myself.
The tower survived both a major economic recession and a global pandemic. Solley says that's because of supporters.
You can feel the forward momentum. You can feel the moments when you're set back during a pandemic and you have to close, or when a recession. But we've seen resiliency, and we've seen all kinds of community support.
And some of the most magic was born out of the most difficult times.
What if we put a band on the back of a flatbed truck and we drive them around town, and we let them play at senior centers and at parks? We're taking the tower to the people.
Under his leadership, attendance grew 50%, staff tripled, memberships quadrupled, and the tower's award-winning educational initiative lesson plan was created. But Solley hopes his legacy will be the role the tower has played in people's lives.
There have been families who have celebrated wonderful moments in their individual lives by celebrating and going out to a show at the tower. And that is indescribably meaningful to me. And if that's a legacy, then so be it.
Solley is looking forward to more free time, but that doesn't mean you've seen the last of him.
I never want to be in the way, but I don't ever want to be out of the way.
Solley plans to retire July 1st, but he will help newly appointed Executive Director Brian August acclimate and consult for the tower when needed. We congratulate Ray Solley on his retirement and thank him for his years of incredible service. Claire Elmer, KTVZ News.